Good day, traders, and welcome here to XM Live Education in the advanced room for an hour of Forex trading. And a big welcome goes, of course, to our traders here at xmglobal.com and a special greeting to our friends on YouTube, which are here our guest today for the first part of the session. So enjoy the session here. I'm giving you a quick outlook in what we are doing in this session. I'm explaining you the strategy we are using here for forex trading with the focus on traders sentiment, and then you have the chance, before we are leaving here out of the YouTube channel, to hop over to our xmglobal.com platform and enjoy the rest of the session. And now we get started. So you can, at any point of time during the session, if on our home base at XM Global or on YouTube, use the chat functionality, ask your questions. I will be here for you and answering you them. And well, I would say let's get started. Let's get started first with a trade we were placing together here on the 24th of May. The 24th of May, if you now discount 7 or add 7 from 24, you are arriving at the 31st of May. So you see, this is a trade that we opened here last week together in the session based on a sentiment signal that we got from the Canadian dollar Swiss franc into short direction. You see as well that we had to suffer some days. Yeah, we had to suffer a few days before the direction really turned in our direction. So we needed a little bit of patience, but at the end, the patience pays off. Um, we even could have done much better with the exit, but let me show you first of all that everybody understands how we are trading here, um, that we are doing this trade. So what I have here is the so-called sentiment matrix. In a sentiment matrix, we are looking about the positioning of the traders, and we are having here a graph that is actually showing the behavior of the traders. And we do have like three setups. We have a cross setup that we saw here on the 24th of May, a cross of the zero line. Well, let's call it rather a zero line bounce, right? Because we came from an extreme area, we were crossing and recrossing. So this is a zero line bounce. That means we are again opening on 24th a short position on this market. And that means as well that now we are looking at the trade, how it performed, right? Was done like last week based on this information. And today on the 31st of May, we are having and harvesting exactly, the profits out of the situation here. And now somehow I need to get here back out of this, back to this platform. And this is now something that we could take, for example, here another $50 on our profits. Oops, now I choose the wrong one. This one, of course, here. Canadian dollar Swiss franc. I wanted to take off, right? So there you see exactly how such a trade could work out. And then if you're looking into your, everyday's balance, what we did so far. So for today, we had from the breakfast trades this morning that we did together with Giancarlo, together with a trade we did yesterday afternoon together, and that was now finally going and take profit. Some small losers in between. So if you're sorting it according from losers to winners, so you see that we did as well some small losing positions today, but in average we were earning already quite some money for today. And that's actually this what everybody, of course, would like to see, would like to achieve. And then you could also finally get into a rest of the day looking for new signals. But this is not for showcasing how much we can earn and so on. No, it's about how to find the signals. So the big question is, how do we get such signals? And for this, actually, we were yesterday talking about a three setup situation. And these three setups, I will be showing you right now what we are looking for. And then we have with our sentiment, sentiment tool, if you want to say it like that. you are having an opportunity to exactly find such interesting setups. Here we had, for example, yesterday worked it out, the setups on the Euro British pound. You see, leaving the extreme zone, the zero line bounce we have here on the number 3. This is what we, for example, traded on Canadian dollar Swiss franc. And then we do have still the zero line breakage that could have been traded here as well in Euro British pound. And you see from time to time, you get here such trades. Here would be another trade, which is like the line behind the buy zone label. When the market came out of this extreme buy zone, you could have had a good shorting opportunity. Interesting, because we are doing exactly the opposite than the market participants are doing. So we are trying to be here anti-cyclic. If we have many sellers, we go for buying. If we have many buyers, we go for selling. That's the deal on sentiment trading. And this is what we are as well looking for, setup opportunities. So first of all, questions out to you guys. Did you all understand what is it about? Are there any open questions that I might need to answer you? Then you can tell me, of course, anytime. I'm just looking, oops, sorry for that now. Yeah, just looking here into the chat as well, if I'm having some questions available from you to see if everything is clear. So we have Ioannis here already in our XM home. Danushka is here and questions are there. So gold Friday is range today as we expected from yesterday. Yes, exactly. Next Friday, gold will have NFP. How this influences? This influences a lot, in my opinion, in the gold market. Let's look into the gold market quickly. NFP is always influencing the gold market quite a bit, to be very honest. And the very best situation is if you go always to the first Friday of the month and look what the gold market did. Okay, so this is how you can find it out, for example. So, for example, in May, we had on the 3rd May, we had NFP. So you go back here, and this is a very, first of all, you switch off here on the top, the auto automation. Sorry for that now. Where's gold market again? Here. You press here, and you can give here 3rd of May 2024, and then it jumps right in there. So here you see NFP influence, right? This is the NFP. You see up, down, and at the end it's going further. So it's a huge volatility usually coming, right? So this is, you see, this is the impact. If you want to get the closer look, go to the 15 minutes and you see it much better. So you have an impulse to the upside, you have an impulse to the downside, and at the end it goes long further. This was the Friday overnight trade. You see, we were leveraging from that. And this is probably not happening today, but you never know because we have PCE information today. So this is a kind of a the consumer measure, so the how the prices are developing for consumption expenditure. So how fast the money flows out of your pocket, right? Households are surveyed, and this gives an opportunity to identify something what the Fed is looking towards. We had yesterday bad data from the GDP. We had quite of bad data from the labor market. And if the inflation data today are getting good, so inflation goes down, it could be firing up as well the gold price in the afternoon. 14:30 or 15:30 platform time, watch out for this event. If the opposite is true, it's getting, again, more inflation, it could shoot down actually. It could actually shoot down, honestly, the gold market as well. So here again, we have some dependency of course, on the news as well. But let's make another spot check. So we had 3rd of May. So we go back into the April, beginning of April. It was the 5th of April. We could make a spot check as well, how it was happening there. And of course, you could now still look into possibilities. You see here, it was having another big impact on the 5th of April, right? So then we look in March. It depends as well always a little bit on April 5th. So we have March 1st. March 1st we go. And you see here as well was quite an impact visible. Yeah, so here you see at 14:30. Did we have delivered at the 1st of March? Sometimes when the Friday is on a 1st, sometimes as well they move it 1 week. Now I'm not really 100% sure. I have to check it up here in the calendar if it really was like that. May 24, March 24. Let's check this out. Core CPI. No, it was exactly 1 week later. I had it still in my mind somehow that there was something in March. So it was actually then on the 8th of March, I think it was the it was the NFP data. Yes, yes, it was the unemployment. Yes, non-farm payroll was 8th of March, so it was not 1st of March. Sorry for that. But you see here again similar behavior: move up, move down, move up. So what I learned so far about the NFPs, like usually the first move they're getting, it will be the final direction, but they come back and then you can quite nicely trade it from the bottom. So if next Friday we will have a move to the upside first, prepare maybe for buying the dips and then it can go on. And the difference is true for the other side. If you first move down, then probably that's well could go down further. This is what my findings are. But remember, I'm not a use trader. I'm more seasonal and sentiment trading. So that's the main focus. Okay, so let's look into the next question. I'm looking to sell New Zealand dollar CAD. Could you please share your idea with technical and sentimental perspective and the seasonal perspective? Okay, no, this we can do actually. So first of all, let's check out if we have a signal from the sentiment right now. So I need to look New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. Actually, not really a signal right now. Yeah, you would like to sell it. Yeah, so you would like to sell it. That is quite an interesting idea because the next sentiment signal that we could get out of this one here is like a move out of the extreme area, like we had, for example, a long trade here, right? New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar to the long side. This was happening on the 2nd of May. And if we go to just to show you the signal, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, NZD CAD. So we get it in, take it from the daily view, and you see from the 2nd of May, we had exactly this signal taking place. We were moving out of the extreme area here on the 2nd of May. Ooh, this would have been a fantastic trade, guys. Absolutely. And this is what we are waiting for right now in a short side. So now the opposite comes true. Danushka, I like this idea a lot. I like this idea a lot. Sentiment wise, I don't have the signal yet. MACD signal is there, right? And the MACD signal is there. The sentiment signal maybe needs still the one or the other day. You know that we are here having also kind of a little bit of a lag time. Um, the seasonal perspective, I can still give. The technical perspective is very easy to cover, honestly speaking here. Yeah, look at that. I mean, this is everything said, right? If I'm zooming a little bit out, we are reaching here an absolute resistance area that had now already like 5 touches. The thing is, if we are reapproaching now the level on the top, the more we are approaching it, the more the softer it gets. So we could also imagine that it breaks through. But at the moment, um, technically makes sense the short. MACD wise makes sense the short. Sentiment wise, it's too early for me at this very moment, right? But a small position, technically, why not? But we have not a real setup right now. So then we would like to, of course, check here out the seasonality still. The seasonality on to be very frank, on the Forex pairs is quite, it's a little bit tricky, I have to say. I tell you the truth. There's sometimes really pairs that are working great with the seasonality and sometimes you maybe rather don't want to focus too much of energy on the seasonality, but let's have a look. I have no idea how it looks seasonal wise. That's why we're looking into it, of course. Yeah, it looks good for it might be looking good for a short as well. Let me bring up the picture. It's the weekly picture that I'm having here for you guys. As soon as it let me make uh, a screenshot of it, we are taking it, of course, and I bring it up to the screen. So maybe